Are back. This is Kentucky Talks. Again, in the studio with me this week is Aaron Taylor, and which means we're going to be doing sports again. We like it so much, we're going to keep doing it. Hopefully, we're going to get this going on a regular basis and get ourselves, get a new segment just permanent, man. I'm hoping that's going to work out for us. We're going to touch on mostly sports in this episode, and we'll hit a little bit of the news, especially that up out of Muldrow, and see what's going on there. So, again, Aaron, welcome to the show.
What's up, brother? Glad to be here, man.
Yeah, man. It's always fun to. I've had such a blast doing this with you.
Me too.
I hope we can, like I said, I hope it all works out. We can keep doing this, man. Because I really, we both like sports. We're both Wildcats fans, but we're sports fans in general.
Oh,
that's cool. I mean, we'll even get into some curling when the Olympics get around. So, but anyway, so first up, man, once you touch us off here with what's going on.
Yeah, man. I do want to touch on the baseball again to kick us off here. The boys, man, they're rolling and they're playing really good ball. Josiah Pierce, have you gotten to see any of this?
No, man, I haven't been to the field this year.
On base percentage is just money. He's reliable. He's a senior, 2-sport athlete. He's really kind of the leader of that team, especially offensively. But Meade County, number one in their district, still obviously, and they just continue to keep reeling out the wins. The girls also doing their thing over there and being successful. So at the end of the day, places like Meade County. I grew up in E-Town. I went to Central Hardin, and the Green Waves. It was kind of like they were tucked off onto their own little section. You know what I mean? Whereas Hardin County had so many different high schools and schools in general.
And we talked about that a little bit last week. Kentucky, Meade County is, the entire county goes to one high school, which is good and bad. Right, it makes it kind of inflates itself a little bit to play up to against larger schools. At the same time, you also get quite a everybody goes to one school. You're not diluting the talent that is here. Right?
Yeah, and again, when you look at the. I brought this up because Central Hardin tagged them Green Waves the other night, 7-1. But it's funny. It's funny that when you look at the football, especially, I mean, my gosh, but when even when I was a teenager looking at the Green Waves, how they operated, especially in football. I mean, Brandenburg seemed like a town that would shut everything down just to go to the field and watch Meade County play football. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Whereas in E-Town, I called Hardin County Sports and LaRue County Sports. LaRue County still had they had that kind of feel as well. They were 3A, so it's a little harder to get jacked up for those big matchups when they're not really playing anybody. But Meade County being 6A, well, they're 6A, correct?
Yeah, we're 6A.
Yeah. And so they bring the town, the show to town, and that place is packed when especially a big boy comes through. Yeah. And and again, looking back on my childhood growing up, it was kind of hard, and even in my adulthood when I was calling games, the fan bases are so scattered because there's not a one dog in the fight.
Yeah.
Whereas Meade County, it's so concentrated. Everybody's
I mean, Brandenburg's the largest.
It's exciting. It really is.
It is. Brandenburg's Meade County is in Brandenburg, the county seat, and Brandenburg is the largest city municipality of any size, any type, really in the county. But then Doe Valley, which doesn't count towards Brandenburg's population, is nearly the same size, really, as far as population. It's pretty close, I think. So those two together, I mean, all the kids in Doe Valley go to Meade County schools, even in the elementary school. So there's a lot of kids that go into, and they're kind of close. I mean, they've grown up playing ball together and things. So it makes a big difference. So there's only one or two sports programs.
Yep.
Now you've got camaraderie. You've got team.
And again, E-Town was kind of split in between the city and the county.
Right.
So you had two different baseball leagues. So you had sometimes best friends that played in the or lived in the same neighborhood. Just because of where a line was drawn, they would catch a different bus and go to different schools.
Right.
So that meant one was playing baseball in the E-Town League and the other one was playing in the county league. So it really is a different aspect when you talk about Meade County. And it is just it's a different animal.
Yeah.
When you
we've
look
seen
at the fan base.
I mean, when you talk about where the lines are, we've seen that play out in like the League World Series where teams in like Chicago area where
Yeah.
they draw a line, and these kids are neighbors basically, and and then you've seen teams get in trouble for playing somebody outside their region.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's just barely. It's like across the street.
I mean, it's like the Hawks in District 5 and Mighty Ducks. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like, that line is like, wait a minute, he ain't supposed to be playing for you. But, it is a great fan base. It's a great town to live in, especially when you got one high school, everybody's kind of camaraderie. And everybody's camaraderie. And what I was going to say is to kind of point to what you were saying. When you develop relationships from elementary school playing in Babe Ruth and, Little League, whatever, and then that transfers on to middle school and then high school. And you can look at it in baseball, basketball, football. A lot of these kids knew each other when they were toddlers. You know what I mean?
Right.
Went to the same school, rode the same bus, or saw each other in class.
We didn't have play dates when we were kids, but
That's right.
now these kids have been playing together since they've been walking, or even before.
And it's changed even sports at a larger scale because we didn't have that growing up as much.
Yeah.
And I mean, especially I didn't. Like I said, I lived in a different, conglomerate of towns and stuff. But, AAU ball and things like that's more travel ball. This is like, if you don't want to come to Meade County and mess with some of these teams they've got here because they've just played together all their lives.
Right.
It's really fascinating. But this past Wednesday, Meade County took on Mel. Beat them 2-0. Josiah had a good game there. He only batted twice. He went 100% fielding percentage, no errors. I mean, this guy's just an all around baseball player. I just had his stats pulled up, but 2-0. Meade County gets the dub over Mel. And like I said, they're number one in the district. They're rolling. The Green Waves softball team just as fantastic. I think they were like 11-5 the last time we spoke. They went 1-2 since then. They're still hanging on to that first place in the district. They're ranked 43rd in the state. I mean, so obviously they still have a lot of people that are knowing what they're capable of.
Yeah, it's normally the girls softball, the fast pitch softball in Meade County is usually really, really good. But you can't have it every year. And
That's
so, but
or every night.
But still, I mean, by the time this season's over, I expect Meade County to be one of the top teams in the state. I mean, it's my expectation almost every year for them, just because of the history that's there. I mean, I used to talk to people after, a few years after I graduated. It's probably like 10 years after I graduated high school. I was working with somebody in Louisville, and they said they would tell me, it was a female, and she said she hated going down to Meade County to play. She said because they always kicked their butt, and there was nothing. And and of course I swell up with pride. That's where I went to school. It's my kids are going to school there.
Yep.
Or have gone to school there, not anymore. But back then they were in school here. And so, but that, it's a little bit of pride. So it's kind of a cool thing. And there's a reputation for winning in Meade County. So,
and then, of course, the Meade County girls, they played at Bethlehem on Thursday. They got a 7-2 victory. Very good win for them. And then, of course, they're going to be at home. This is upcoming Monday, so they've got the weekend off, and they'll be home Monday to Breckenridge County. And, of course, anybody that's lived in Meade County knows that the Breck County rivalry is strong and alive.
Yeah.
So that'll be a big game for the girls.
it's unfortunate they don't play football together anymore. They ended that a few years ago. I think.
I mean, there's no reason
for
for you to
school
go
was like the
pick
last
on
year they
these
played.
guys, man.
Well,
You're
but
6A for a reason.
Well, but it was one of those things where it was but it was a rivalry. It was a but a rivalry. The thing is, they hadn't won in so many years or whatever.
Yeah.
But they won like one of the last games that they played. So it was one of those things. So,
Yeah, it is.
so they kind of went out with just as they're ending the rivalry, they kind of started holding up their end a little bit and won a game. So.
Yeah.
So what's up next, man? Let's see. We talked a little bit of baseball,
Yeah.
high school baseball, high school softball.
Well, I think the big news, of course, yesterday was the NFL draft that kicked off last night. Not a lot of big news to report. Not a lot of big trades other than Cleveland and Jacksonville swapping. But the big story to me was that Shador Sanders.
Yeah, it did not get picked in the first round.
I mean, now this guy's coming fresh off a retired jersey.
Yeah.
And that was a story in itself. But he did fall, and I've kind of heard people talking. Archie Manning famously kind of stepped in and said, Eli's not going to play for the San Diego Chargers.
Right, I remember that.
Okay.
Yep.
So, of course, they draft Phillip Rivers, or the Chargers drafted Eli Manning number 1 overall. Then the Giants drafted Phillip Rivers 4th overall. Then they swapped quarterbacks, and then the rest is history. Eli went on to win 2 Super Bowls, and Phillip Rivers was a good quarterback as well, but never got the championships. But so they, Dion kind of, or it seemed like Dion was trying to kind of strong arm teams. Like, he's not going to play for you, especially with the coaching. Where Dion could come coach.
Yeah, I had heard that there was possibility that, and I don't know if this is actual or not, but this was some of the rumors out there that that he actually was tanking some of his interviews on purpose because he didn't want to play for those teams.
I think I had heard that.
But what happens is school or teams, NFL teams especially, they talk to each other. Right. Sometimes they talk to each other to kind of try to pull one over on each other, but they also will share straight up information about somebody. And especially if somebody is wanting to, get somebody at a cheaper price, if you do something in an interview, they could go talk to anybody.
Oh yeah.
And say, hey, this guy's got this or that.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, you fall 3, 4, second, third, fourth round, and now you're at they get you at a discount. So,
well, yeah, and famously,
not saying that's what's happened, but I've heard there's a rumor out there on the side. Excuse me.
Dion. I don't know if you remember this or not. I heard this story a long time ago. I just thought then it was hilarious. But when Dion came out of Florida State, of course, he was a highly coveted draft pick. He had a meeting with the New York Giants. And they came in and basically gave Dion a fat playbook and was like, hey, we need you to go to the hotel room tonight, study up. We're going to test you tomorrow. And Dion literally asked them, what pick do you all have? And they said, we're picking 9th. Yeah. And he said, I'm not going to be here at 9th, and left the playbook on the table. Now, that brashness can work for you or against you. And with Dion being the vocal one, and Shador not performing, Colorado was terrible. And, I mean, Travis Hunter's a Heisman, and it's hard to say he didn't have a great team when he has a Heisman. Trust me when I say I watched a lot of Colorado football. They did not have a good team.
No
offensive line. I think the running back situation, I just heard this last night.
I mean, it was amazing what they did last year.
Do you know that their leading rusher on the team only had like 300 and some yards?
Yeah, I saw that.
Insane.
I saw that. I've followed. I'm like you. I've kind of followed it. Mostly because it's unbelievable the hype that they get out there, and it's just kind of just a little bit, it's just off the rocker a little bit on how much. I'm not saying that these kids aren't good, and or even willing, or worth the time to invest, but a lot of that was just hype. A lot of those wins, especially in year one, was hype. The NIL and the portal had just hit, and people were, and Dion was pretty good about going out and getting kids out of the portal and building a team.
He had Travis Hunter was a 5-star that went to Jackson State. It was the first time ever that a 5-star went to a not an FBS school, whatever it's called. Though.
Yeah, it was a. Actually, it was a. Was it a?
I can't think of what it's called.
Historically black colleges.
Yes. HBS.
HBC something. Yeah.
HBC, HBS. Yeah. First time ever.
Yeah.
That a 5-star went to that level. And I mean, obviously he could have went anywhere probably. I don't know what who his recruits were, or who was recruiting him, but.
And it paid off. Hunter went. Where'd he go? He went. I had this in my note earlier, but I didn't put it in my on my computer here. But it's what did he go to last night?
Which one? Who? Oh, Travis Hunter.
Travis Hunter.
Jacksonville.
Yeah. I mean, he went. Was it second?
Yeah. They traded.
I was trying to remember. Oh yeah, he traded up to Cleveland spot. Yeah. And so I was watching that last night, and I was thinking of draft day.
Oh yeah,
you know, because that was the trade, right?
Yep.
Jacksonville and Cleveland, right? That
the old Kevin Costner movie.
Yeah, that's a great movie, man. I love it. I usually watch it draft day just because of that, but it's I didn't have time to watch it yesterday, but it's I'm sure I'll watch it at least once this weekend, just because. But that's what I'm saying. It was when I said it was Cleveland and I was like, man, that could have been in the movie. That could have been the line in the movie right there.
You know, and then you have Shador Sanders again. We were talking about the brassness, but I don't know if you got to see Cam Ward. Did you see Cam Ward get drafted?
Yeah.
Okay, so of course he went number 1 overall to the Titans, but man, this guy was so humble. Just even his outfit. I mean, I was talking to my son last night. I know I'm getting old because I'm starting to become the get off my lawn guy.
Yeah.
But the shenanigans these guys are doing with the jewelry and the flashy outfits and the dancing, going to the stage, I'm like, it's crazy. And, you know, a lot of it is because these guys are already got money. You know, they've already got money before they get to that stage.
Well, yeah, I mean, these guys,
they're not coming out of like deep poverty like they were before.
Yeah, they're not borrowing their Uncle Bob's suit. You know what I mean? They're going out and they're playing it up, and these guys are ready because that's what NIL's done for them. I mean, I also saw, I don't know if it's in our notes for today or not on the rundown. I didn't catch it, but the NCAA is talking about just doing direct payments.
Yeah,
yep. I mean, which we know that's the next step.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's it. I mean, you know, again, there's a fine line already drawn that you've now, they're no longer amateurs.
Yeah.
You know, and then I think it also breeds contentment with a lot of the teammates because especially like to me, if I'm on a team and I see, you know, player A getting this amount of money, but player A doesn't show up to practice or player A doesn't pull his weight, you know, the way he should because he's a star or whatever. Man, that would really trickle down in the locker room because, I mean, you know how a football locker room is anyway. I mean, it's a family, it's a brotherhood, it's a, you know, and if somebody's, you know, getting paid and, you know, you are in your dorm room, making ramen noodles or whatever it is that Arian Foster was eating, you know, it could kind of breed contempt.
I mean, the thing is like almost everybody on the team is getting paid something. I mean, look at it. I mean, have to be. They are. I think that's one reason that the NCAA is coming down with these roster limits because one, there's a I don't know is again it's another one that maybe we're talking about later, but these roster limits we talked about last week or week before. I looked into it a little bit more. Well, I'll save it for them, but there's you know it's a the part of that reasoning is because NIL and stuff, but there's a lawsuit out there that the NCAA is settling. And they have to do something about limiting the roster spots, not scholarships, but roster spots. That's why it's 15 now.
Yeah, and I was going to say they are. I think it's. Was it from 13 to 15? I think
it was. There was 13 scholarships, but you didn't have a limit. A limit on
players.
On players, you could have walk-ons. Yeah, because remember 1996, Kentucky played in a junior varsity league, a JV league, in another like MEAC or something like that.
Yeah,
and that way, Cameron Mills and them there were so many people stacked up on that team, they weren't going to get playing time to get better because there was so many people on that 96 squad. They were they're basically walk-ons but they're better than walk-ons, really.
Yeah.
And so they started a JV team. Kentucky went and played, I think, just that one season, maybe two. And Cameron Mills wouldn't start on that. He was scoring 30-plus points over there in that league. Yeah. And then, of course, when you come to, they had to limit the number of games you could play, all that stuff. You could play some varsity, and it's kind of like high school.
Yeah.
And so, but that's what I mean is this, what's happened is kids are getting – you can still stack up all these teams, and these teams are not getting, these walk-ons are not, they're coming and stacking up on a team as walk-ons, and they're not really getting playing time. They're not getting they're not getting paid. They're not on scholarship. And so the NCAA, there was some, they went, this settlement, and I didn't get to read the whole thing, but the settlement's basically about, hey, set this limit before the judge will actually, allow it to go through. And so that's why it was set. So that's why it was set now.
And my point is that you've got these guys coming up to the stage with gold grills and diamonds shining. Cam Ward, man, he was strictly business. Came up there very humble, was very choked up, was having a hard time speaking, and just very humbled. I mean, had a moment with his father, clutching.
It was great.
It was great to see.
It was great
because it was almost like he started off the show, and then it kind of went like the circuses in town.
It did right after.
There was very few humble moments like that last
Pick
night.
17 was Shamar Stewart to Cincinnati.
Yeah.
And he came out. I thought he took out Roger Goodell's ear.
Oh, my goodness.
He screamed in his ear and stuff. I'm like, dude, we know you got. We're all excited.
Yeah,
for
we're
you.
all excited for you, but he looked like you about to put him in a spinal buster too. Because I mean,
I don't know what Roger Goodell was saying to him afterwards, like "settle down, son" or something. I don't know because but in my mind, I'm saying, dude, you just broke my back, and we'll be talking to you, next year when you get your paycheck.
Yeah, he was probably saying this is going to be your first fine.
Yeah,
but anyway, so the Tennessee Titans took Cam Ward. I didn't know this, but Cam Ward has the most touchdown passes in college football history. That was slipped by me. I didn't know that he was that dope.
I think I saw that during one of the games I was watching last year when he broke it when he actually surpassed it or something. But it was like, I mean, he's putting it up.
Yep. Abdul Carter, the Penn State edge rusher, went to the New York Giants. I'm bringing this up because I don't know if you saw it today, but Micah Parsons, he was on Micah Parsons' podcast, and of course Micah Parsons number 11, Abdul Carter was 11, and Micah Parsons was like, hey, this is going to be one of the best jersey swaps ever, because they're going to play against each other, being the New York Giants and the Cowboys. And he was like, you're going to be number 11. And he said, now I'm going to wear 56. So Lawrence Taylor's number is not retired, Shador Sanders. Lawrence Taylor, you know what I mean? Come on. But so he's going to don number 56. So I thought that was a pretty neat story.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ashton Genty went to the Las Vegas Raiders. Ashton Genty so close to breaking Barry Sanders' record, 5'8", 220 pounds. This dude is compared to LaDainian Tomlinson and Frank Gore.
He did break one of his records, right?
I think so, but
he didn't get the overall rushing. Yeah.
He was just close. I mean, just shy of it. But yeah,
that was like a season or something. I think he did one season, and I think he got the largest in a season, but not the overall. I think Barry Sanders had both of those records.
LaDainian Tomlinson, I heard last night, imagine LaDainian Tomlinson and Frank Gore having a baby. Their baby was Ashton Genty. So, again, injuries, everything. He's had a lot of carries.
And he went where?
Almost 800 carries to the Raiders.
To the Raiders?
Yeah, and the Raiders are kind of like the destiny for death. It's really hard to be successful. Ask Jerry Rice.
I've never seen
Moss.
anybody. Yeah, I've never seen anybody. It's a strange thing because these are not. It's not like the talent. They don't get the talent. It's just like
it's ownership.
It's ownership. It's the system that they're in. I mean, we've seen it over the years. System and talent, when they come together, it's special. That's what you have with Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, and I'm sorry, last week I forgot his name again too. It's so strange. I need to take a brain
be a Broncos fan. You'll not
you'll
forget
never forget
his
him.
name. Yeah.
It's tattooed on the back of your head, I think.
Yeah.
But
somewhere.
Bill Belichick and Tom Brady.
Yep.
These people come together, these systems and these talent comes together, and it's special. It becomes very special. And that's what everybody's trying to. I mean, Cincinnati's been trying that especially the last few years. Joe Burrows and the receiving squad, man. It's just that you don't get much better than that group.
Yeah.
But is the system there to take them? To take them over the top, and definitely need a better defense. So I was really happy that we saw, we got Shamar Stewart, because we needed edge rushing.
Texas A&M.
Yeah,
he's two Shamars.
He's
two Shamars.
Yeah,
one Shamar went to Florida.
Shamar Stewart went to
Texas
went to Cincinnati, and he was he's a defensive end. And that's exactly one of the things I was happy to see it, because if we don't need to add another receiver, we didn't need to add. I don't think we need to add another running back. I think we really need defensive line and defensive backs. I think the defensive side of the ball. I mean, Sam Hubbard retired.
And then Trey Hendrickson.
They're still trying to get
contract dispute.
Yeah, so they're going to, and I think they're going to get it settled. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that they just redid everything so he can keep the receiving team together. And so he wants to get paid too. I don't blame him for that. Part of the help, it did help.
15 sacks last year.
Yeah, I mean, it helps that they raised the salary cap up pretty well. So yeah, let him go get his, and I don't blame him for that. I just hope that everything comes together, because I really want to see him as a Bengal again. So
yeah, so Shamar Stewart went to the Bengals.
Yep.
And Texas A&M outside edge rusher. Very phenomenal athlete. Indianapolis Colts, they took Tyler Warren. Now, Tyler Warren was not the first tight end off the board. He was the number 1 ranked tight end. But he's not flashy, but this guy does everything. He's kind of like a Taysom Hill / better receiver, obviously, in the tight end position, but he throws the ball, runs the ball, blocks. I mean, he's kind of like a joker. He kind of does everything. But Tyler Warren, Penn State, the tight end, went to Indianapolis Colts. And then also...
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Back to Cam Ward a little bit. With Cam Ward going to the Titans, where does that leave Will Levis? Is he going to get traded? Do you think he's just going to sit the bench?
I think he'll sit.
Do you think he'll sit the bench?
I'm trying to think of how, and I always kind of mess this up as much as I watch the NFL and keep up with it. When you're drafted, every rookie comes in with a 4-year, 5th-year option.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know how much money is guaranteed. Will Levis came out, 2 years ago?
So
this will be
is his third season. Yeah.
I don't know if they still owe him money. So you got to start asking yourself
Yeah.
that, like if there's still money on the hook. Now they ain't paying.
They could. I mean, if there was
money,
if there was guarantee money, but yeah, because usually the guarantee money is spread over the year, the full contract,
or rolled into a signing bonus. That's what I'm saying. So he could not owe him anything.
It could be. It could be. It just depends.
Guaranteed is what I'm talking.
Right. But he was let's see, he was was he a late first round pick? Was that what it was?
I can't even remember.
I can't remember either.
I was rooting for him, but
me too. But he had issues. I mean, he threw a lot of interceptions at Kentucky and
did the same thing.
And he did the same thing. And but he had special moments too. And it's like you see the special, but you don't. It just seems like it's few and far between.
Yep.
A lot of mistakes in between those special moments. So, but anyway, I didn't mean to interject too much, but I wanted to, it just it occurred to me that, he may be looking for another team. If not this year, then it's definitely probably after next year.
Will Levis is, like I said, with the new coaching staff, remember, again, turnover. One of my favorite lines, and remember the Titans, I'm sure a lot of people listening has seen this movie. I know you have, Mark. One of my favorite lines in that movie is attitude reflects leadership.
Yeah.
And that can be said, I mean, you're in business.
It's a great line.
In business. That supersedes a lot of different areas in life. When you have a good attitude or good work ethic or whatever, it trickles down, and it's got to start up top. When you get into a draft lottery like the Browns and all these different teams that have chased quarterbacks and offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators. So Will Levis comes into a Tennessee Titans organization that seems like it's pretty rock solid. Mike Vrabel's there at the time. Derrick Henry's there at the time.
Right.
They've got A.J. Brown at the time. And then right as he gets drafted, halfway in the season, they trade A.J. Brown. Mike Vrabel gets fired the next season, and so does Derrick Henry didn't get fired, but you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's shipped off to the Ravens. Now you're left. Now Will Levis is left there going, I had better weapons at Kentucky. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. I mean, it is absolutely true. And so now he's trying to pick up. Pick up the slack. Now he's trying to lift up the team, and it's like, it wasn't supposed to be that way when he got there. It was supposed to be him coming into a situation where he had weapons around him. You're absolutely right. But again, it's kind of the same thing. It was at Kentucky where the second year, the same thing happened the second year when we had a different offensive coordinator. It was a new coaching situation, a new system, and now he's trying to elevate. We didn't have the running game that we had the first year he was there, so there wasn't that relief. A lot of things happened, so he's in this kind of the same situation.
Yeah, I think Will Levis. I mean, his first year there was with Liam Cohen.
Yeah, and the second year was the guy from San Francisco. What was his name?
I don't know.
He was only there for a year.
Denver too. Offensive coordinator.
I think
Rich Scangarello.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, and then and I was excited about that. And then of course now we went over to what's the guy's name that was here last year? Oh gosh, begins with an M, I think. Anyway,
Macho Man.
no. But anyway, this guy, at least there's some stability. It seems right. So,
yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing with Kentucky is like, just like any other team. I mean, when you're building something, you can have, Mark Stoops being there for what this is like his 11th season, 12th
something
season,
like that.
something.
Yeah, I mean he's the oldest,
longest
tenured coach in the SEC.
And you
It seems strange to say.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like Coach K. I mean, what was he, like 79 or something?
I don't know.
Crazy.
I mean, he tried to retire in the 90s because he had a health situation, but but Stoops is plugging along. I like Stoops. I'm a Stoops fan, but
you're not the Stoops Troops guy you was in 2014, 15, 16.
Yeah, I need to see. I need to see something. I need him to be able to come back next year. Now, I mean, you have off years.
Here's the thing. We're gonna go off script for a second. When it comes to college football, I'd say the same thing about college football as I do women's basketball in college. Okay, there is such a discrepancy between number 1 UConn and number 2 whoever, fill in the blank. There's certain years where number 1 and number 2 meet in a Final Four or something in women's college basketball, and they lose by 40. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like crazy. So when you say that, Stoops need to show me. So now I'm a Kentucky fan. I want us to go undefeated, whatever. What's
the thing?
Yeah, what are we looking for, though?
Well, for me,
Because-
all I can do is speak for me. What I'm looking for is just the consistency again, right? To say, hey, I know we're going to run this ball and we're going to have the offensive line. I know that we're going to have a strong defensive line. When you call it the wall, it needs to be a wall, right? You're talking about the big blue wall. It was not the big blue wall anymore.
Yeah.
And it's like, what happened to it? And yeah, I get it. Other teams come and they, NIL, portal, but where are and I do believe that Kentucky does have limited resources when it comes to NIL, and I think that part of what we saw was the basketball team didn't have as much NIL as we would probably like
or think
because
I thought the pockets were a little deeper there.
Well,
all the sweater vests
over there, but when you're trying to pull money into the football team as well, and now you have 105 guys versus the 15 guys. That pulls a lot of money out of the 15 guys, at least from the point of view of the fan who's trying to contribute the boosters. I'm not no way near a booster, but if we want to contribute, if I give $200 to a fund for it, that only goes so far. You know what I mean? If there's a million Kentucky fans,
makes it to Lexington.
Well, there's
stop and get gas between here and there.
You know what I'm saying, right? If I want to get, but there, in the collective, you can go and buy into the collective for X amount of money.
Yeah.
It's not just high dollar boosters; it can be low dollar boosters too, or low dollar fans. And so, which I consider myself a low dollar fan. I am by no means a high dollar fan at all.
But you have high dollar expectations.
But I have what I feel is realistic. I don't expect that we're going to go win the SEC.
I don't even think we can compete in the SEC. That's my thing.
That is the thing. All I want to do is be able to compete. That's all I want. As we started competing for a few years there, we were competing.
Well, now that it's expanded, think about this. You got Oklahoma
and Texas.
It's
a different thing.
I mean, I know Texas A&M's been there for a few years now, but Florida, Tennessee, Alabama, Auburn. I mean, those are just so rich in football blood that to me, it's almost like, I've said this about Calipari, like everybody was just dumping on Calipari towards the end. And you kind of take for granted what we did enjoy for several years.
Right.
And I've always said, if you told, and fill in the blank, I mean, outside of Blue Bloods, I mean, fill in the blank. If you told that team, we're going to give you 10, 12 years of Final Four runs, Elite Eights, one championship.
Everybody loves it.
They would jump on that
This is Kentucky.
fast. I get it, but
this is Kentucky. And you're Kentucky too.
I love the snob attitude when it comes to basketball. Give me the chips. Football, I love going and watching them play. We've been to games together. I love watching them play. We drove down to the Music City Bowl a lot of times. It's like that's who we are as Music City Bowl, though.
But see, I'm okay. I'm okay with that as long as basketball
I'm just
reigns.
saying, you're wanting to fire this guy and uproot his family, and what is the expectation?
You're not
I mean,
talking about Stoops, right? I'm not. I don't want to fire Stoops.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, yours like I'm not talking about something. What, I mean,
I'm
what's
just saying.
the
I want to get what I want to see is just get back to consistency where we can compete. Some we're not at the bottom of the SEC.
Yeah.
I'm okay with
this year was a bad year. I get it.
Yeah, my goal for Kentucky football is at least be in the hunt. And have a chance when you come up against Georgia, Texas. Be in that hunt, beat the people you're supposed to beat, and then see if you can't put something special together for a couple of games, right? To kind of move you past it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm expecting.
I mean, this year against Georgia, I mean that was
we struggled in almost every game this year.
But Georgia, think about Georgia.
Well, no, we couldn't score against Georgia.
I know, but remember, I mean, that was a close game for a lot of times. You know what I'm saying? 3 quarters.
Yeah, I mean,
I hate that we played 4.
We've almost we could have and should have probably won that game.
But to me, that's hey, we gave it the old college try.
It's true.
I want to expect more, but I don't know.
But by the time we got there, I mean, it was like what we'd already lost. Who?
Oh yeah, lost? And then we lost a stinker right before we.
Yeah,
played.
and then we lost to Vanderbilt, right?
Head,
and we lost to Vanderbilt too, right?
Yeah, who loses to Vanderbilt?
I mean, nothing. We hadn't in a while.
Yeah, all they got is doctors on their teams.
And it's like
smart, but
so that's what I'm talking about.
Pictionary team.
I want football to be at on the edge, and I want basketball to be supreme.
Have you thought about getting another favorite college football team?
No.
Okay.
No.
Let's
Absolutely
go,
never.
Mountaineer. No,
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, the West Virginia guy
The West Virginia guy speaks. Well,
hook 'em horns.
Hey, the same way though. West Virginia competes in both sports usually.
They
pretty
do.
Good, yeah,
Yep,
pretty
yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Kentucky's just in a bad way, and West Virginia, if they went to the
here's what I gotta
SEC,
say.
they
Here's what I
wouldn't
got
be
to
doing
say.
it either.
Go look up all the basketball records.
Yeah.
Right. What are the basketball
Am
records?
I supposed to do this in the football stands?
Yeah. No.
Just scroll through our basketball Wikipedia page.
Hey, I'm at least thinking about it when I'm watching the game get when I'm watching the team get stomped after I drove all the way to Lexington.
It is such a long drive home. After.
Oh, it is, dude. It is. I mean, it seems like it's it's all right getting there. It's anticipation. And you get there and they lay an egg, and it's like. It wasn't like they laid an egg even against teams that they were supposed to, put down, they were letting them be in it until the third quarter and sometimes into the fourth quarter. Had to come back against at least one team last year.
I mean, I know though. I'll close with this. Well, and I do want to hit one more Kentucky note.
No, go ahead.
Draft last night, but
we got time.
No. I mean, before I switch subjects here, I do want to say that like. When you look at a basketball schedule, my daughter goes to UK, so I'm always like, hey, if when Kentucky plays Florida at home or whatever, fill in the blank, SEC powerhouse, I want to go there and watch that game. If they're playing, whatever, it's like, do I want to go up there? And if I do go up there, I want to see them win by 100. Well, in football, it's the same way. Like if they're playing some scrub, I expect them to score 50. They go up there and score 10. That's a long drive home.
It is. Exactly.
Congratulations to Maxwell Hairston last night. Kentucky corner went to the Buffalo Bills. Loved his draft conversation at the end with the reporter. He said, I came here to get Josh Allen the ball back.
Yeah.
Loved it.
I love that guy.
Yeah.
He was great. So you want to take us out?
Sure.
Yeah. Take us out of here, man.
Hey, thanks for tuning in to Kentucky Talk Sports. Again, I'm having a blast. Hope you are too. See you tomorrow.
Right. Good night, everybody.
Next week.